Okay, welcome to the Euro come Australian healing session. And I don't know if there's any general questions about healing before we start. That just came into my mind. Anyone got questions on the subject of healing ourselves and others that I might be able to help with? Otherwise, we'll move on to an exercise. Okay, Ingrid's back, so we can start. So what we're going to do is a healing exercise around forgiving another. And as usual, I'll take you through the exercise, be recorded so you can always listen to it again. And then we'll pair up. So what I'd like you to do is get comfortable, relaxed. And close the eyes. Okay, let's start by taking just a few deep breaths. With the next breath, you can imagine light, beautiful light coming down into your head and flowing through your body. And then with the next breath, you could breathe in and tense the muscles in your legs. And as you breathe out, just relax the legs. Breathe in and tense the muscles of the stomach. And then breathe out. Breathe in through the arms and make fists of the hands. And let go. Breathe in and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then relax. Lastly, if your neck and head are a little bit stiff, you can rotate your head. And now just count backwards silently from 10 to 0. And feel yourself becoming more relaxed as you count. Now into this quiet place we've created, we invite our guides, the spirits, Jesus, whatever name, whatever symbol you want to use. They want to hear our welcome. Invite them in to guide us through this session. If you wish, you can see it as a light shining down upon you, or a hand you hold. Now turn to your guide and ask, please show me someone who I need to forgive. Someone where I lose my peace. They can be alive or dead, on the television, in your family, anyone. If no one comes to mind, just choose someone you don't like. Make the situation real for you. If it was some conversation perhaps you had, just bring it back. It's all right to feel negative. Or perhaps someone you saw on the television that made you angry. Or someone perhaps just died, but you have the strong memories of the pain you carry. Locate in your body where you're feeling this. Where are you carrying this tension, this pain? And if it feels comfortable, you can put an accepting hand over that part of your body. Just take a moment to look how large it is and what shape it is. And then say to yourself, I accept these feelings of, you can give it a name, pain, sadness, anger. They're part of me. I accept these feelings of, they're part of me. You're not trying to change or heal them. You're just accepting them being there. It's all right to feel anger or hatred, or self-pity or sadness. You can stand back and look at it. Say, that's okay, I accept you. Now imagine this person standing in front of you. And slowly they start to radiate light. Watch them transform, change into perhaps a symbol, some image, who they really are underneath all the personality, how they were really created. They could change into anything. Let's see what comes. This is who they really are, who we don't normally see beneath their personality. And then turn to your guides and ask them, what is this relationship teaching me? In what way is my behavior similar to this person? What fear rises in me when I'm with this person? And then when you're ready, say to yourself again, I accept myself exactly as I am. Look again at the person you wish to forgive. Try to become aware of their fear and pain and see it as a call for your love. If it helps, you could see the person as a small, unhappy, distressed child who is in need of comfort. As you look at them, imagine a beautiful healing light coming down into them. And as the light comes into them, they start to smile. And you see someone who's struggling through life just the way you're struggling through life. And you'd like to see them healed as you would like to be healed. well, we'll just take a few moments to say anything you need to them, anything perhaps you've understood. If you can, at the end, see if you can go over and give them a hug and wish them well on their life. Take what time you need, and when you feel complete, as far as you've gone, just come back to the room. I think we're all back. So the usual practice, we'll pair up now and choose A and B. A can talk for 5 minutes of what's happened, and B's task is just to listen without speaking. B can be the timekeeper, and then you change over at 5 minutes, and then B can share anything they like. A can listen. Then their sign will come up that you've got 2 more minutes, so you can just talk together, stay in the room, and then you'll be just back to the room. So I'll open the rooms now. Welcome back. Some of you, of course, tend to get wrenched out of your conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to finish off anything?
Nah, we're cool.
Anyone want to finish something? Okay. Does anyone want to share anything from that exercise with the rest of the group? Don't have to, but this is a space. If something was important for you and you think others would like to hear.
I think Paula said something really nice at the end. Paula, what did you say?
What did I say at the end?
Yes.
That the job, our job is to, I think, when it happens to me, is to admit and to say, I am feeling this, please help me. What other can I have to do?
Mm.
I think, no? And the other thing I forgot to say is that my son also if make me so angry, but is a trigger for and help for me to stay present, because it's in his presence it's easy to fall out.
Yeah.
And I have to learn to maybe it's help. for this. Yeah.
Yes, I remember Ken Wapnick, he produced a book once, he was my teacher. He said, parents and children, our most difficult classroom. Yeah. Well, I think I'll tell you a little story about him later. This was rather wonderful. But anyone else like to share something in the group?
Yes, I will share my story. Was that, well, before I do, Bjorna, what was the lesson for today for you? What was it? You're still muted, by the way. You're muted, Bjorna?
I'm a holy son of God.
Okay, thank you. So Bjorna reminded me of that towards the end, but it was that that in the meditation, the whole world kind of disappeared, and it was only me left. And I knew really that that would happen. Is that I have to forgive myself, and there's nobody else really. It's like, yeah, there probably is on a day-to-day basis, but really it's been all about me all along. It's never been about anybody else. And of course that's the hardest gig of all for me.
And me.
And there's never been anybody else to forgive.
Yeah.
And that's why now that I was saying to Bjorna that, you know, I can think about past husbands and past boyfriends, past relationships, past everything. And I think of myself in situations where one could say, well, what a bastard, or what a, you know, what a horrible person. And it's always, oh, Jill, why did you allow that to happen? Or why did you do, you know, it's always about me. And that's why in my meditation the whole world fell away. There was nothing there except me. And so and then when you carried on with the meditation instructions, and I was in front of myself, this is who, and who are they really? It was just this light filled golden winged person who you know, was obviously not who I think we all are. I am, it's who we all are.
Yeah.
And it was quite emotional really, because it's how much I hate myself for what situations I've allowed to happen, you know, and situations I put myself in. I have done that, and there's no getting away from it. You have to forgive yourself, and it's really, you know, there's no blame, can't be blame people. It's like, this is what it's come down to. It's just come down to me, and what am I going to do about it?
You just remind me, I was talking with a friend here the other day, and she had this very powerful dream. She saw really into the depths of everything, she said. It's so strong. And when she came out of it, the message was, the only thing that's going to wake you up is forgiveness. And that's for those on the course, on the path. There are other spiritual paths, but those who are drawn to this, you know, that's what you were so talking about so well there, Jill. It just comes back to us all the time, doesn't it?
And there could be a sort of desperation there, I think, because normally we always sort of, in the course of our lives, say, I'm going to get someone to help me, or, you know, somebody can fix this. But that's not going to happen. You know, like, you have to fix this and recognize yourself for what you are. And then Bjorna said, well, you know, he was doing a lesson today, and that was the lesson.
Yeah, you were saying about how we look at the body and fixate on that. And there's that line in the Course where Jesus said, if you think you're a body, you're insane. So we're all mad here tonight. He also said laugh gently at the ego, so follow that with laughter. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jill. That was nice. Yeah. Anybody else?
I can say I learned. I was reminded. I was learned a couple of things today. First, I was talking about one person who cheated me for a house rent. Angry, but I can say I generated this myself in a way. But when I talked to Jill, she reminded me about I have to forgive myself. That's beneath there, underneath there. And Paula just now reminded me also about ask for help. It's another thing we can do. And when you're talking now, also I see that actually happened another time in my life that somebody cheated me for rent. So it is an issue for me. And I can see in a way that it has to be with me to be really honest with myself when I'm where I am. If I was really honest with myself, this wouldn't happen probably. So I'm learning from this and forgive, and ask for help if it's still there. So, yeah. That's it.
This we get these reminders all the time to ask. It's everywhere, and working with channels at the moment, it's ask. I remember Ananda said, you don't just ask once, keep asking, and then we know you're sincere. You really want our help, and then don't set up the conditions of what the help will look like. We're not wise enough to know that.
I'm sometimes thinking maybe they will be tired of me asking too many times, like nagging.
I remember I was 20 and thinking about praying to Jesus, and I thought, but he must be so busy with someone else. I mean, I don't want to butt in, And then I was reading the other day from a Jesus channel where Jesus says he's in contact with 2,000 channels on earth currently. And Ananda said that Jesus has the ability to channel to 10 people simultaneously. I mean, it's all a bit mind-boggling, isn't it? Once you've raised your consciousness high. Anybody else? I mentioned when you were about my own teacher, Dennis Wapnick, machine. I get her off the sound. I've muted you all. I played God again. Okay, let's cut the sound out. Okay. Yes, this is from Ken's book, The Meaning of Forgiveness. It's a true story. It's quite short, actually, but it's so powerful around forgiveness of someone who's, doing negative things towards you. He lived in New York at the time, which is, a difficult place to be with a lot of crime. Several years ago, I was awakened in the middle of the night by the sudden realization there was someone standing in my room. After the momentary shock, I remembered my workbook lesson of that day. There is nothing to fear. And calmly asked my uninvited guest, what can I do for you? The situation was not obscure, however. It was clear the man was on drugs and desperately needed money for his next fix. Burglars rarely enter occupied apartments. He threateningly held his hand in his jacket as if he had a gun to punctuate his demand. My defenselessness seemed to change the atmosphere in the room, however, and the man soon began apologizing for having broken in and disturbing my sleep. I gave him whatever money I had in my wallet, and the man paused as he took it and then returned a couple of dollars, saying, "This is all your money. I can't leave you with nothing." And he went on apologizing. I assured him it was all right and urged him to do what he had to do. As I ushered the man to the hall, waiting with him for the elevator, I said, "God bless you." His final words as he disappeared into the elevator were, "Please pray for me." I assured him I would, although I knew that this holy encounter had been the prayer. No injustice had been done, for there had been no real loss. The amount of money was a small, quotes, price indeed for the blessing of forgiveness that had been given and received as one. That's my Christmas story. Anyone got Christmas stories before we finish? We're getting near the end. You're all muted, by the way, in case you want to speak. Any thoughts about Christmas? I tell you what I do at Christmas. I send off 3 Christmas cards, one to my first wife and to my 2 children. Then on Christmas Day, we get in the car and we go to a lake and we have breakfast by the lake. And that's Christmas. I don't buy anything else. I don't buy anything for my wife. Years ago, I thought this is all too much trouble. I think Jesus just wanted us to forgive someone at Christmas. So if you've done it today, that's a Christmas present for Jesus.
Did you all see that Tina changed the date for the live channeling? It is today actually instead of 1st of January.
Yes, he's moved it back. So it's 7 o'clock in Australia. I don't know where it is for you, but there's a live channeling on tomorrow. Tomorrow for where I live. Yeah.
Regarding Christmas, I think it's really, really difficult to. I've been trying to each year. I say I will do less next year, and now I'm more relaxed because I don't do all the baking, so much stuff, but all the social things that are around Christmas, and I think it's. And that's part of it I wouldn't miss either because it's so dark here. You know, you want to have and I see people want needs to come together but I guess I think Christmas is tricky for so many reasons. So much stuff is coming up for me to see.
Yeah.
And what do I participate in? What do I like about? What I don't want? How do I want it? It's really difficult for me, with a kid that's 11, with all family and stuff, it's difficult. It's much easier to break up in a way with traditions when you are, when you don't have small children, because I wouldn't take, it affects your child too, you know?
Yeah, it's a big thing with kids, isn't it? Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. Good point. I know each year, Jesus channeling through Tina always talks about Christmas as our challenge, and that we should tune into our heart and do what we want to do, which will probably upset a huge number of people.
Yeah.
Anyone else got challenges for Christmas? Devin looked away then, so it's probably a challenge there. Oh no, Christmas.
Yeah, it's just funny because the family is pretty split, so it's like, okay, who am I gonna bless with my presents on Christmas Day this year? So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I actually have another question. So, about this, Björn, what did you say? Live channeling with Tina? Where do you get access to that? Where do you follow that?
Okay, it's a paid service. It's I think $33 a month to join Tina's Mighty Network. And then you get access to normally 2 live channeling sessions. They're about an hour and a half. You can ask questions. And if you can't make it, they record it. You can listen to it afterwards. I also take all the Q&As out of that. There's over 1,000 I've got now, and I post them on Tina's network. But you have to belong to Tina's network to
All
hear
right.
streams.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think in our house, so married with a couple of kids, and well, I say kids, they're 30 and 27. They're not really kids, so they're very possible. But there's different degrees of care about birthdays and Christmas, and those sorts of things. And you could extend that to funerals and weddings and anything that has reportedly a value in the community. Those sorts of things naturally fell away, their meaning rather, fell away for me long ago. But I realized that in order to get along, it's just as erroneous of me to try to expect someone else to see it my way as well. Likewise, it's unreasonable for them to expect me to care about something that they care about that doesn't mean much to me. So in the house here, it's just, you think this and you think that, and that's all okay. I had to say to my wife some time ago, if you really want to get into this Christmas thing, I said, stay into this Christmas thing and do all that stuff. That's great. But don't get cranky when I'm just not interested, which is a fair request, I think. And it works. We're totally cool with it. There's no judgment either way, and that's go for it, knock yourself out. It means something to you. And who am I to say what's valuable and not? This is my perception, and so that's kind of it. Live and let live.
That sounds nice, Ross. Yeah. Especially got a family that can agree with that,
Sure.
Yeah. Nice one. Good. Anyone else before we head into Christmas? Well, I hope you have a peaceful Christmas with everyone, and otherwise forgive them all. We'll be back on Zoom in January. We'll have our workshop and another healing session. So it's been a good year being with you. It's a great group. So I'll say goodbye for now and wish you a wonderful Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Likewise. All the
Thank
best.
you. Bye now.
See you later.